Greetings, Benjamin J. the Victrola Guy with another in the series on the Edison tinfoil phonograph. Well, I just got some new tape in the mail. As you see, this is copper. And again, this was originally for shielding for electronics. But every time I find a new kind of copper, new thickness, new manufacturer, anything that is made of copper that's reasonably affordable, I buy it. This was $10. Which will give me, I don't know, 8 recordings maybe. So I've cut a piece of the copper off, and this is copper foil adhesive, backed, 17 3/4 inches long, which will go around the mandrel exactly once, with about 1/4 inch of overlap. So this is going to be a test on this new copper foil, and the problem, of course, with tape is the fact that A, it has an adhesive on it, and second, that this is exactly the same width as the mandrel. So it's difficult to get this stuff stuck on there straight. As I always say, if you're off a 1/16 of an inch on this edge, by the time you get all the way around, you're off 1/4 inch on the other end. So we're going to pull this off of its backing and stick it to the mandrel. And hopefully I can stick this on here reasonably straight. So you want to put this stuff on here straight and smooth. Every wrinkle the stylus goes over picks it up as noise, of course. Well, I'm way off. I can see that already. Way, way off. I don't know if I can pull this back off without really wrinkling it. Probably not. But it is really, really way off. And I said, or as I said, that is the problem with tape, especially being exactly the same width as the mandrel. It gives you no leeway for error as far as applying the stuff. And when you try to pull it back off, it makes little wrinkles because of the adhesive. So, let's see how we did. And I'm just sticking this down to the mandrel. It's still off a little bit, but not as bad as it was. And it's really frustrating trying to do this. You know, you spend a lot of money on this stuff, and if you don't get it on there, you've ruined the experiment. So, okay, we're off about 1 full groove, which is not that bad. So I'm going to go over this and just burnish it down with my thumb. Pure 99.9% pure copper. And we'll just roll this edge over a little bit. See, I need to find this stuff that's wider than the mandrel by about 1/4 inch on either side, and that'll give you a lot of leeway. Alright, so the copper is on the mandrel. Got some wrinkles in it where I pulled it back off, but it should be alright. Stick down the overlap. Alright, so we'll rewind the mandrel to its starting point. Like I said, I've got about 1 groove off on this edge. So we'll have to get past that. And that should be close, I think. Alright, we'll go around once. And we'll start it right there. Okay, we're in the 2nd groove on the mandrel. And, excuse me, I'm not going to adjust the machine yet. We're just going to see how this works before we proceed to try to do anything else with it. Let's see what kind of recording we can make. Okay, so recording on the new copper foil, copper tape actually, and of course going to be recording Mary Had a Little Lamb. This will be the first test on the new copper tape. Hello, hello, hello! Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Ha, ha, ha. Alright, so we've made the recording. We've got good modulation in the copper. So we'll run this back to the starting point and we'll see how this new copper tape works. I know it made a recording, but I have no idea what it's going to sound like. Alright, we'll start it here. Here's our first recording on the new copper tape. Alright, well, it's not a bad recording. The nice thing about copper is it makes a really distinct recording. I've made much louder recordings on aluminum, but the nice thing about copper is it makes a distinct recording and it doesn't wear out nearly as quickly as aluminum. Alright, let's play it one more time. Alright, well, not a bad recording. If I could find this in a 2.5 inch width as tape, I would probably use this for the demonstration of the phonograph. It seems to work. It seems to work rather well. It's just a matter of fine-tuning it, and like I said, it's so difficult to get this centered. If it was a 1/2 inch wider, it would be much, much easier to use. And I'm going to play this one more time, recording on the new copper foil on the 1878 demonstration tinfoil phonograph. Alright, and I'm turning this much slower, so I'm trying to learn how to turn it at a much slower speed because it gives you a lot more recording. When I first started, I was filling this up edge to edge. I now have about 3/8 of an inch that hasn't been recorded on. So slowing this down gives you much more recording time. It's just a matter of getting used to it. This is something you would have to do every single day to really get to know this machine. And it's interesting that the machine feels completely different recording on copper. Like I keep saying, it's almost like you've added a bearing to the mandrel. It becomes really smooth and fluid recording on copper, probably because it's hard and it's smooth. Whereas aluminum seems to have more tensile strength and is more crackly, and you actually feel it dragging on the foil. With copper, you don't. It's just really, really smooth when you're recording on copper. In any case, a decent recording. This is the new copper tape. This was $8.49, and there's, I don't know, I think 12 feet of this. So it's not going to last very long. They make big rolls of it, but they're 150 bucks. However, if I could find this same stuff 2.5 inches wide, I think I would probably go ahead and begin using it. It's getting expensive trying all these different foils. This copper is really expensive. Even that copper snail tape, that just a small piece of snail tape I had was, I think, $13. So copper is expensive, but it makes a decent recording. You don't have to adjust the machine nearly as carefully. It's much longer lasting. I've made recordings you can play 20 plus times on copper. So, like I said, if I could find the same tape 2.5 inches wide to make it easier to put on, I think I could probably end my search. This seems to work. It makes a distinct, bright recording. Not as loud as some of the recordings I've made, but distinct. That's what you're looking for, especially when you're actually demonstrating the phonograph. So I just wanted to document the experiment. This just got here. Found it on eBay, of course. So I thought I'd just do a quick video and see how this new tape works. Like I said, if I can find it in 2.5 inch widths, I might go with this. We'll just wait and see what comes along. But I'll be doing some more experiments and some more recordings on this. But I just wanted to make a first recording and make a video so you could see it and hear it. This stuff seems to work. Like I said, if I could find it in a 2.5-inch width, I might just start using this. You can see it's really, really smooth, virtually ripple free until you put it on the phonograph. As long as you don't pull it back off again. With this adhesive, it's really, really unforgiving trying to lift it back off with no wrinkles in it. And I haven't found any copper foil yet that I could just cut into strips and try. This tape really seems to work. It really seems to make a decent recording. And it's easy to use, and it really sticks to the mandrel. So, I think I will probably experiment with this piece left on here. Because once you take it off, you're not going to be able to put it back on. And do some experiments to see how many times I can play it before it really starts to wear. And I guess we'll just take it from there. But this is the first test on this new copper. And as I said, it seems to work. There's no wrinkles in it. It came in an envelope, but the nice thing about this is it's actually on a cardboard tube rather than them folding it up and leaving a wrinkle every 4 inches. So we'll do some experiments with this and see how it works. As always, if you have any questions about recording on the Edison cylinder phonograph, recording on the Edison tinfoil phonograph, anything I've covered in my YouTube series, feel free to drop me an email, THEVICTROLAGUY@gmail.com. I'll be doing some more recordings on this just to put it through its paces until I run out, and then see if it's actually worthwhile using it. If I can find something wider, I really think this would probably work. But in any case, just wanted to document the experiment. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.